Good morning, everyone. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Oh, this coffee tastes good. I was tired this morning. I just returned home from Jacksonville, Florida last night. So we're a little bit whooped. I came home. My wife was worn out from taking care of the kids all weekend. I was worn out from playing poker and losing every hand. So everybody's worn out. But then 6 a.m. came along and it's time to wake up and get going. One second. Trying to get some money issues taken care of. Going to the Party Poker Caribbean Poker Party in the near future, and you got to make sure you have party poker funds lined up. If you all have not considered getting relocated, check out Poker Refugees. They have helped me get relocated and makes life easy. Really, the main point of getting relocated, for me at least, since I am in America the majority of the time, is that it allows you to buy in to Party Poker and PokerStars tournaments with funds of that type. So then you don't have to worry about wiring to the casino, wiring back home. You just keep money on NetTeller, Skrill, Party Poker, PokerStars, and you're good to go. Say it's a big headache. It's way better than what I had to do in the past, which was wire money, deal with finding money, etc., etc. That was a big hassle. Now, it's no hassle. Message a few people, next thing you know, got the money, good to go. Sometimes life's just easy, you know? Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But if you do good work and find good people and make good connections, they'll help you get whatever you need. Messaged someone just the other day. Need a pile of money, they said. Here it is. Oh, goodness. All right. Today, I want to discuss a big fold that I made. Actually, I don't even think it was a big fold. I think it was an easy fold. In the World Poker Tour tournament at Jacksonville. Day one, let's set up day one. Day 1A. Things are going great. I started with 40,000 chips. Turned it into about 55,000 chips. No showdowns. Nice, good, loose, aggressive poker. People folded too much. It was great. Then, I actually just texted one of my friends. This tournament's amazing. Everyone just folds a lot. Then, a guy who tells me he likes my books as soon as we get to the table. He raises from early position. I 3-bet kings. I think it went like 600. I made it 2,000. He made it 7,500. That is not where I want to be. Because I think this guy has a whole lot of aces and queens and ace-king suited. But definitely the aces. So if he definitely has the aces, what should I do? Well, I decided to call. Flop came like 9-4-2. Super innocuous board. And he jammed all in for 1.5 times pot. And then I really hated it. But whatever, I called the kings, he had aces. So that took a lot of my chips. Then from there, I didn't win any other hands. So I was out. Bounty number 1, gone, day 1A. That's fine. I busted right at the end of the re-entry period, but elected not to re-enter. Because I think I would have had like 30 big blinds or 40 big blinds, something like that. But I can just always come back the next day and start at a new, presumably even softer table with full stack. So that's what I did. I came back the next day. Things were going great. Where I chipped up again. Got up to about 50,000 in the first level or two. Everything was going fine. There were two good kids to my left, but they weren't messing around too much, so that was nice. And then this hand came up. Playing 100, 200. Under the gun, good kid. Not doing anything too insane. I mean, he was 3-betting a little bit. You know, he was a good kid. He raised under the gun. Third position, older guy who, you know, maybe is a guy who overplays hands, but seemed reasonable, right? He made it 1,700. Okay, we're playing 40,000 deep. Folds around to me and the small blind, and I get pocket kings again. I decide to call. Looks a little bit crazy. A lot of people just 4-bet there every time. But, first off, the kid was playing very reasonably. And the old guy was playing very reasonably. We have an under-the-gun raise and a 3-bet from early position. So if both players are playing reasonably, under-the-guns range should be, you know, a regular under-the-gun range. But the third position player's range should be a regular 3-betting range, or perhaps even a little bit tighter. And his range could actually be there, like aces, kings, queens, jacks, and ace king. Maybe no bluffs. Maybe bluffs, maybe no bluffs. I don't know. All right. Gets back to under the gun. So I cold called the 1700. Under the gun now makes it 6,000. This is fine. I'm still going to call. We're going to set mine. We're not trying to jam it in pre-flop because if I'm good, they likely are drawing to 5 outs, which is great. I don't want them to fold. And if I have the worst hand, they're clearly never folding. So now kid makes a 6K, which is always tough because perhaps my cold call induced a bluff. And at this point, I don't plan on folding, and I'm not folding my kings. If I get to call 6K and I flop an overpair, unless it's like queen jack 3 or jack 10-4 or something like that, I am not folding. Okay. A lot of people look at these spots and they think, oh, easy fold with kings, you're against aces, haha. But no, not necessarily. What should the kid be 4-betting with? If I'm in his spot, he has to know that I have a big pair or ace king. Okay? So I have a big pair or ace king. I think that's pretty obvious. Now, what about the old guy? Old guy, well, I already told you, probably has jacks or better than ace king. You really want to 4-bet into that range? Probably not, right? So now the old guy makes it 16,000. So an old guy makes it 16,000. Now I'm just done with it. I'm not sure that I'm against aces, but I am reasonably enough sure that I'm against aces. They both could have ace-king suited. They both could have queens, maybe. But like right there, I think 5-betting the queens is really bad. 5-betting anything there is pretty bad besides like aces and maybe ace-king suited as the bluff. A bluff with plenty of equity, right? When you have ace-king suited, you're blocking aces and kings for your opponents. And when you do get it all in, you're usually against queens or ace-king. And they'll fold those sometimes, so you have fold equity. Obviously, you do run into aces every once in a while and you're in bad shape, but such is life. So, gets back around to me, and I just fold. And I clearly... I had one of those rare instances where I lost my stoic demeanor and my cards just... I was like, I was just like off of it. This must be how like Phil Hellmuth or Mike Mattisau feels whenever they play. Like, man, I'm angry, I fold. Because, like, remember, I already lost kings to aces on day 1. And then I'm just like, confident. I ran into the setup again. And I folded it. And, like, half the people at the table were laughing at me. And then under the gun goes all in. Other guy calls. Under the gun has aces, so we did it. And the third position guy had jacks, which I think is really, 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 really bad for, you know... I mean, it was 200 big blinds. You don't want to get in 200 big blinds with jacks against early position pre-flop raiser. Like right there, if I had jacks, if it, under the gun raises, a good kid, I'm just flat calling. I'm not even 3-betting. To be fair, I 3-bet less than most people, and that's because when you 3-bet, you make pots big. And when you make pots big, you go broke sometimes. Now, going broke is fine, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, if it takes me like 10 losing hands to go broke, but it takes you 3 losing hands to go broke, clearly, even if I am like winning less money on each of those hands, I get to survive longer and win more money win less money on each of those hands. Less than Alex Fitzgerald. Alex Fitzgerald likes to 3-bet a lot. And so the logic is essentially when you 3-bet, you get the pot heads up, so you win those pots more frequently, right? Instead of like me going 3 ways with kings, if you go 2 ways with kings, you win it half the time instead of 33% or whatever, right? That's the required amount to win. I am a little bit happier navigating post-flop in small pots and also just picking up a lot of pots. And it is interesting how different, like very different strategies can succeed because I 3-bet... Probably shouldn't say this, but I 3-bet almost entirely as bluffs or extreme value, like very polarized, but definitely tilted towards bluffs. Whereas a lot of people will be more inclined to 3-bet regular range. But I think in tournaments, it's not quite as good. Unless people fold too often. Now, in the small stakes, let's go back to this. In the small stakes, a lot of people will call the 3-bet and then just check fold the flop, or fold to the 3-bet pre-flop. That doesn't happen so much in high stakes games. If they have reasonable hands to call and they're getting okay odds, they're not folding. So you lack fold equity in higher stakes games compared to smaller stakes games in general. Let's see. what tells can help you understand that I was against aces. I would have bet significant money I was against aces in that hand. What tells happened? Under the gun raised, third 3-bet, under the gun 4-bet, third 5-bet. Those were the tells. And also, they both looked like they were happy. Also, look, I wasn't so concerned about the initial kids under the gun raise, but once the kid 4-bets, I'm not going to say he has exactly aces, but I do think he has a very tight range, because he has to be aware that the old guy must have a good hand. You don't 4-bet there unless you're just happy to get it in. So what are you happy to get it in with against an old guy 4-bet? Or old guy 3-bet? It's got to be aces. I'm not going to say that it definitely was, but it's got to be a strong range. So look, I have an article. I'm sure you can Google Jonathan Little Pocket Kings and something like that, and it'll come up on my blog, where I basically say if you folded Pocket Kings, you probably played it wrong. And because what happens to a lot of people is they will raise the kings under the gun, old guy will 3-bet, they'll 4-bet the kings, old guy will 5-bet, then they'll fold getting 3-1 pot odds, thinking, oh, I know I have aces now. Or I know he has aces now. And that's just not true. It's not how it works. Also, when you're getting 3-1 odds, you really shouldn't be folding the aces, or the kings, because he can have ace-king, right? So anyway, this is a scenario where I think it was just a pretty easy fold, assuming the opponents are not playing like good, loose, aggressive poker, which, maybe the kid was, but I don't think the older guy was. Can you talk about when to fold when you don't unblock your opponent's hands? Probably just shouldn't be folding. Let's see. Yeah, Postle free zone. We postled out everybody. We're not trying to waste your time discussing things that have already been beaten to death. If you want more information on that, check out my YouTube. I did a video, perhaps one of the only actually relevant videos that's been made by anyone on YouTube, where I interviewed Mac Verstandig, the lawyer who is in charge of, he's the plaintiff's defendant, or the plaintiff's defendant, oh my god, the plaintiff's lawyer who is suing Stone's Gambling Hall and Mike Postle and a few others. So if you actually care about what is going to happen as opposed to speculating about nonsense, then check it out. Will I be at WPT Montreal? No, I will not. I just got back from Florida last night, and then also I'm going to the Party Poker Caribbean Poker Party in mid-November, and I have a wife and 2 kids, and I need to be home some. Also, I really need to finish a book. Actually, it's not due until February, but if you all know me, I'm the anti-procrastinator. I do not procrastinate, and I've been grinding hard trying to get my next book. Still not in love with the title. Excelling... What's it called? Excelling at Tough No-Limit Hold'em Games. If I can't remember the title, it's probably a tough one. Because it should be like excelling in. The problem is my other book, Excelling at No-Limit Hold'em. I kind of wanted to stick with excelling at. It seemed a little bit silly to change it to excelling in Tough No-Limit Hold'em Games. But I think it reads better. And, anyway, I'm making a new book like this, except for we're using content from the Pokar backing company. They have lots of very, very fantastic educational material there. You can't get it unless you're a backee or an investor. Fortunately, they let me invest. And I consult a little bit, and I'm going to make a book for them. What percentage is good big blind defending range against a steal? Depends on your pot odds, right? Should be quite high, though. I'm drinking some kind of... I don't even know what this is. My parents got it. I ran out of coffee the other day, so they got it from the store. It looked fine. Is it possible to win at 1 cent, 2 cent against the rake? It's possible to win in any game against almost any size rake if your opponents are bad enough. Question is, are your opponents bad enough? Early in a tournament, 80 big blinds deep. Ooh, not folding kings, 80 big blinds deep. All right. Under the gun, a tight player raises. You 3-bet and the big blind with kings. Small blind, or 3-bet under the gun +1. Small blind goes all in, under the gun goes all in. You folded kings. I probably don't fold there. 80 big blinds is not that deep. 200 is, though. Do I ever get tired of playing professionally? No, because I don't play all the time anymore. I used to play all the time. Yes, then I would get tired. But if you play a week and a half each month, you just don't get tired. You like it. What did I do to get motivated again? I would just take time off. Take a little time off and go and enjoy myself. Why not mastering Tough No Limit Hold'em games? Because we're doing excelling This is a series. I have Mastering Small Stakes No Limit Hold'em, but look, this is a book like this with a lot of people involved, okay? So with a book that has a lot of people involved, I wanted to stick with this title. Also, this book sells really, really well. And actually, to be fair, Mastering Small Stakes sells really well too. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. The problem is that there's no real problem, but I'm not going to call it Mastering for short because Mastering was a book by Jonathan Little. This is a book by lots of people. Am I going to Hard Rock in November? No, I just told everyone, I'm going to the Party Poker Caribbean Poker Party in November at Baha Mar. That's a series I will literally never miss. I definitely enjoy going to Playground Poker Club in Montreal. I definitely enjoy going to Hard Rock Hollywood. But never going to miss that Party Poker tournament in the Bahamas. It's $10 million guaranteed. Lots of other tournaments. The place is amazing, and it's great. It's a new book discussing hand ranges, like Mastering. No, it's a different book, everyone. This book has chapters by all of these pros. You see all these people here? See all the people here? The next book has chapters by many of the best online players in the world. And look, at this point, to some extent, I'm either writing stuff that I get a lot of requests for, or I'm writing stuff that I want to read, personally. And I made this book pretty much for me, but also to help all of you, clearly. And then also, this next book is basically a book for me. It has incentivized me to chat with, study, learn from many of the best players in the world, and I get to share that with all of you. So anyway, Excelling at Tough No Limit Hold'em Games will be out at the World Series next year, but that requires me to sit down and work. Excelling at Playing in Tough No, that's wordy. I think Excelling at Tough No Limit Hold'em Games was fine. That's fine. What's my favorite book I've written so far? This one. Because, again, I learned a lot. I got to promote a lot of people. For those who are not aware of the poker space, there are two kinds of people in the poker space. There are those who like to help others and build up the community, and there's those who like to tear down the community. And I like helping others. I'm not trying to tear down people, especially mindlessly like we see happening today in the internet world. And I try to promote people. I try to build up people. I try to help the environment. And this book does that. It does a lot of things. It gives great content. It promotes people who I like. And you can read like a chapter. I was like, see, look, isn't this cute? Look at all the chapters. There's all these chapters here. And it's great. Who's the best female poker player? I don't know because I haven't played with every female poker player, but I would presume Vanessa Selbst. She plays great. Hi. You want to be on the show real quick? Here, for 1 minute, okay? 1 minute. Then you have to go back out. 1 minute. Say hello. Stand up. Stand up. Oh, okay, you're sitting down. Can you say hi, everybody?
Hi, everybody.
Are you off from school today? Are you off from school today?
Yeah, I have to
What are you going to do?
school today.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to play with Grandpa.
You're going to play with Grandpa? What are you doing? No, you can't touch that. I'm in the middle of my show. Remember last time you turned off the computer? Mm. What's on your pajamas?
Robot.
Robots. Do you like robots?
Yeah.
Are you going to be an engineer one day?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to make the robots?
Yeah, I'm going to make a robot fly.
Oh, okay. Or are we going to shoot you off to Mars?
I go to walk to Mars.
You want to ride a rocket ship to Mars?
Yeah.
Oh, you want to ride a rocket ship to Mars? Okay. Bye. Can you tell everybody bye-bye?
Bye-bye.
Can you say good luck in your games?
Good luck in your games.
All right. See ya. You're a good boy.
There you go.
You're a good boy. We had James on the other day, and he turned off the computer when I was streaming. Not today, sir. We're keeping you away from that. But no, I mean, there are a lot of great female poker players. I mean, I have Liv Boeree. Liv Boeree is part of this book. Again, a lot of people have kind of transitioned out of poker to some extent. Like Liv is a scientist or something like this. Vanessa is... She works at a hedge fund. Lexi Gavin. She just started working with me at pokercoaching.com, making quizzes, making webinars for all of you. So there is, if you want to learn from a great female player, she crushes the high-stakes cash games. Check that out. So, try to work with good people and promote good people. So, luck. This was actually the initial title. Excelling at Online No Limit Hold'em. But, big but, from talking to people, would you buy a book called Excelling at Online No Limit Hold'em? Turns out the answer is no. Definitely no. Why? Because half the people or more don't play online poker, especially in America. And my audience has a lot of Americans in it. I mean, given I'm an American guy, it makes logical sense, right? Why is this not sticking still? Come on, YouTube or Instagram. So that title does not work. That's the title I would have naturally titled it. That's the obvious one, and but it's not going to sell as well. And it is important to make sure you use titles that sell well, assuming you want to get in front of people. One thing a lot of people don't quite recognize is that if you produce good content and you think it actually helps people and benefits the world, it is your duty to get them to have it. Which is why I give away so much of my stuff for free. I mean, I still got to make a living, still have to sell some stuff. But it is very, very important that you get your material, your helpful material, in the hands of others. And this is why you see a lot of people in all sorts of spaces making loads and loads of free content. Because at the end of the day, I just want to help all of you. It'd be great if I could figure out a way to make a living from it, which luckily I have. But it's my goal to get in front of all of you, which is why you can go, I try to find ways for you to get the content for free, right? Go to jonathanlittlepoker.com/free. You can get this book, an audiobook, completely for free. I was giving away 2 of my books. They cost like $7 or $8 or $10 on Amazon. They're just free. Go to my Twitter page, click the link, you can get them, right? I know that if I provide you lots and lots of value, if you ever do decide to take your poker game to the next level, you will think of me. All right, let's see. You love my content. Good. I'm glad you all enjoy it. That's the goal. The title of your show makes you want to have a coffee. Yes, I have a coffee in the morning. One thing I promise, one of my mentors, Kurt Kohlberg. You all know Kurt Kohlberg? He's given me all sorts of great life advice, and I have promised him that I will be getting in the gym every day this week. I have to do it. He suggests I go to a rock climbing gym. The problem is there's none of those near my house, and I don't really want to climb outside in the river, so I don't want to climb up a building. So I'm going to get in the gym every day this week. We're doing it. It's important to find people who inspire you and make you better, right? If you find people who inspire you and make you better, then it'll work. You'll get better. Do you have any comments on the troll Alvin that dissed my teachings? Alvin is a very good person at taking work out of context. It's very interesting. Whenever you see people trolling people who are just doing good work on a consistent basis, who have great results, they are almost always taking whatever work has been produced out of context. Very much out of context. And that's okay, right? I get it. That's how some people try to become popular. They find people who are way more popular than them. They try to tear those people down and try to seem like they're equal. And, that's okay. I get that that's how some people want to market. And one trait of some marketers is that they, that is how some people try to get popular, is by trying to drag down others. That's the exact opposite of what I do. I mean, beautiful example, right? I certainly don't agree with all of these people and everything they do in life, but I'm happy to promote them. I'm happy to promote poker. Other people do the opposite. They try to drag people down, and I get that that's okay, right? And that those types of people attract people who enjoy that, and those people aren't for me. If you are actively trying to tear down others for no reason, completely unprompted, then you clearly do not understand my thought process or my logic, and that's okay. Everyone's not going to like you. It's important to realize that. And the neat thing is that as you become more and more mainstream, more people will inevitably not like you, right? Are we talking about Doug Polk? No, we're not talking about Doug Polk. We're talking about some other guy named Alvin, some random guy on YouTube who posts nonsense. Actually, I'm sure his logic is probably fine if he just wasn't taking the work out of context. The people on 2+2 are great at taking work out of context. They love finding individual snippets and taking work out of context. I mean, I guess I don't like the fact that Doug Polk took the Negreanu thing out of context and then proliferated all over the internet. I think that was pretty out of line. But that's how some people operate, right? And it's okay. You have to realize everything that's said on the internet is not true. And much of it, even if the exact words were said, you can take, I'm sure, you can find all sorts of stuff that I said, take it well out of context, make me appear to be the worst poker player in the world. And, then call me a scammer who doesn't teach anyone anything. I'm sure you could probably put together like an hour of me, actual video of me saying things, taking it out of context, chopping it up. You can make a fake video. And that's what some people opt to do with their time. And if you consume things like that, listen, I'll tell you what I always look for. If you hear anyone talking negatively about someone without actually giving the circumstance, or in general, if you just listen to people talking poorly about other people unprompted, those are people you probably don't want to associate with, because those are negative people. Those are the people you actively want out of your life. And that's okay. So I don't have those people in my life. Is the stream lagging for anyone? So look, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, whatever. Anytime the stream's lagging, just click refresh. Sometimes it's just not working. R. Galloway's 100% someone will probably go tell Doug Polk that you said he was out of line just to stir up poop. Yes, I'm sure that'll happen. But look, it doesn't matter. That's the neat thing, is it doesn't matter, because even when haters try to hate on you, that drives traffic to you. And some of those haters, or not even necessarily haters, but people who are kind of like mindlessly following someone, some of those people will find you, and you will help them. I've actually had many people, I say many, 5 or 10, say that he heard this random guy, Alvin, berating me on the internet. They went to my videos, and they learned a lot. They started applying the teachings, and now they're good. They were not good, now they're good. Because I'm presenting the topics in ways that are easy to understand. And it's hard to keep good information and helpful information down. And some people, because like I said, everyone's not going to, I don't know what percentage of the world would, let's call it 30% of the world would like me. Some of those people don't know me, right? And if they can randomly get in front of me, then it's not bad. We're not going to say no, all publicity is good publicity, but at the same time, a hater's going to hate. That's exactly right. How many years did I study before going pro? About 1. So, Daniel, I took a very different approach to poker than most people. I started with $50. I started with, in theory, $350 because I bought $300 worth of books before I ever played poker for real money. And then I put $50 on party poker back in the day and grinded it up. I never had to redeposit, never went broke, or any of that, because I was always very, very disciplined with my bankroll. It does seem like Facebook is acting funny today. Not too sure why. This stream is having issues. Yeah, well, it is what it is. Go to Twitch. Try going to Twitch. Try going to Instagram. I don't know what to tell you. So how long did I study before I went pro? Not long, and that's because a lot of people were not very great. Bad internet today. Well, maybe we'll just sit here for a minute. We'll talk to Instagram. Instagram, if you have any questions, let me know. Is there any hope for American poker? Sure. You're a winning player in PokerStars New Jersey. You feel like the only option to pursue poker is to move out of the country. I know some people who are making decent money just playing in New Jersey. The games run well enough, and if you are literally one of the best players in the world, you can succeed there. Problem, though, is that you're actually competing against a lot of the absolute best players. But yeah, look, if you're trying to become a world-class poker player, I would tell you to leave America. So that. I would tell you to go find some good people in Canada or Europe or Costa Rica or Mexico and study with them, get good, grind there for a year or two, and then figure out what you're going to do from there. Alternatively, if you want to play live poker, I would suggest going to Fort Lauderdale area or Los Angeles or Las Vegas and grind there a ton. Do you ever go on lengthy downswings where you consistently lose flips? It happens to everyone. Get over it. Do you still have poker goals I'm trying to achieve? Not really. I am pretty happy with life. I'm someone, it's going to sound weird, who doesn't really want to win things. I more so want to produce good work. And I was talking to one of my friends about this the other day. Like, what do you want out of life? Because this is really important. It's an important question, especially once you've already kind of done things, right? What do I want? I want to produce good work and help other people. And that's all I really want to do. Help people, produce good work to help the other people. So do I have goals in poker? I mean, continue helping more people. That's a goal, but it's a very hard goal to maintain. I mean, I'm sure I could do things like make X amount of money from my business each month or something, but like, I don't really care about that. I more so care about helping. I mean, like I went to Jacksonville just the other day. I had like 50 people come up just wanting to talk about how I've helped them, how they like my content, etc., etc. And that's good, right? Because it means you are doing good work and bettering people. How many hours of content is there on Poker Coaching Premium? I don't know, 400? What's the best way to study it? Find what you want to study and learn it. If you want something like the Cash Game Masterclass, I would definitely suggest that as a good starting place. That's just a very solid, concise, 6-hour-long course on poker. So definitely check that out. That's a very good starting place, even if you don't play tournaments. Was Florida an overall win for you? You know, I played 3 tournaments and lost all 3. Actually, I cashed for $500 in a bounty tournament. So I guess in theory, I bought in for $12,000 and I got back $500. So that was fantastic. How's James doing in school? Great, no problems. Kevin says there's 1 billion hours of Poker Coaching Premium. Yeah. James Day, so you wore the Poker Coaching patch in a deep run yesterday. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Am I going back to Foxwoods anytime soon? Probably not. Poker Snowy suggests playing tightly. Is that how I play? It's how I play in good games, or in difficult games, right? Whenever you are playing against very bad players, you get to play more hands. When you're playing against very good players, like a table full of Poker Snowy bots, you need to play much tighter. You hate it didn't run hot in Jacksonville. That's fine. Thanks for signing your book. You're very welcome. Mario has one of the most well-loved books I've ever seen of mine. It's been studied a ton, and that's what you're supposed to do. That's actually how my dad's books look as well. He'll show them to me. They'll be all tore up. I clearly have not read my books all that often. You see, this is in very nice, pristine condition. My dad's books, Mario's books, are all worn out. Because they're a well-loved, well-studied book, right? Kevin says you have your poker coaching patch glued to your Stones gambling hall patch. Bad move, it seems. That'll be a relic one day. It'll be nice. It'll be cool to have little relics like that. Whenever you see people wearing like full tilt hats at the poker table, we're like, huh, interesting. So yeah, back to making big folds. How do you make big folds? And a lot of this comes from, first off, understanding, am I blocking the bluffs, right? Am I blocking the value hands? If you're blocking the value hands, you should be way more inclined not to make big folds. Like with pocket kings, for example, you block ace, king, and kings, which means you're really only against aces. With hands like ace, king, you block aces and kings, which means you're probably not against aces or kings, right? And it's very important that you think of that, but also you want to be thinking about what is my opponent's strategy? What are they doing? And some people's ranges, especially once significant money goes in the pot, are so incredibly strong to the point that they are not bluffing appropriately. And if they're not bluffing appropriately, then, like say they're not bluffing often enough, that's where you really want to start making big folds. Let's see. You're moving when you retire. Looking at Reno or Henderson. Probably Henderson is better unless it's more expensive or something like that. I don't know anything about Reno, though. I've been to Reno only one time. I don't know anything about it. But I know Vegas is nice. They have all sorts of stuff in Vegas. Is there an offer to add Poker Coaching Premium to the basic membership? Yes. Send us an email. $60 a month upgrade, and you're good to go. Let's see. Have I heard of some guy named Ken Lowe? No, I don't know who Ken Lowe is. I don't know a lot of people at this point. There's a lot of people in the poker world. Yeah, one nice thing about Reno is Lake Tahoe's very close. Tahoe's great, assuming you like going outdoors and whatnot. So yeah, also, like in live poker especially, or if you're playing online, you have a heads-up display and you have good notes on someone or good stats on someone. If you see they just don't 4-bet, then when they do 4-bet, you should start making big folds, right? Also, what is your image? Do you look insane? Are you crazy? Do they think that you are going to be re-raising very, very frequently? And if they do, then they're going to play back at you sometimes, right? Like if you have a loose, aggressive, active image, and someone plays back at you, that should not be much of a shock, right? If instead, you've been super nitty, and then they play back at you, they probably have a good hand. Unless, of course, they just think they can make you fold a big hand, but like, why do they think they can make you fold out pocket kings or something like that? So if you're reasonably active, you should be less inclined to make big folds, which is something a lot of people don't quite recommend, or people don't recognize, by the way. For example, if you have a very tight image, and someone does re-raise you, or let's say they raise, you re-raise them, and then they re-raise you, with like even pocket queens and ace king become pretty marginal there, because for you to re-raise, you must have a good hand, right? So if you, the tight player, must have a good hand, and then they turn around and 4-bet you, they must have a really good hand, right? So as you play a tighter strategy pre-flop, you should actually be more inclined to make big folds. This is why you see some of the loose aggressive players. We mentioned Vanessa Selfs earlier today. She is getting it all in very light pre-flop, right? And that's because she's being loose and aggressive. And if you're in there battling, and your opponents know you're in there battling, and they are willing to do something about it, which is a big thing that some people are, some people aren't, you have to be willing to get it in much, 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 much wider. As opposed to against a like a tight player, they should be making big folds because it's obvious they have a good hand. Hopefully that makes sense. Have I ever folded kings pre-flop? That was what we started off this show with. I folded kings the other day in Jacksonville. Under the gun raise to 600. Third position, 3-bet to 1800. I just cold called small blind. Under the gun made it 6,000. Third made it 16,000 out of 40,000 total. And I folded the kings. So yes, I did it just the other day. Was it literally yesterday? Yeah, it was literally yesterday. But no, I don't fold kings very often. I think I have an article about this, but if you fold kings, you probably screwed it up if you fold kings pre-flop. That said, in some scenarios, like these multi-way spots where two early position players are going at it, like I don't really have any options there because they're just blasting their money in, right? But I did everything I could to make a fold there and make it cheap, and I lost 10 big blinds with the kings. And sure enough, I was against aces, right? So I suspected aces. Yes. Clearly, when you fold kings, you should not fold if you don't think they have a whole lot of aces in their range. If you think they have a lot of worse hands, why would you ever fold, right? I'm not folding kings because I am worried about them getting beat or something like that. I'm folding because I think I'm in bad shape against their ranges. Let's see. Is Strategies for Beating Small Stakes Poker Cash Games still effective today? Absolutely. That is a book designed to help you beat the soft games you will often find in small stakes poker. It's not a big book. It's a little book. Here it is. Only 100 pages or so. But this is just full of good, actionable advice on ways to beat players who make a lot of errors, right? This is something you can buy. You can read on an airplane or something on the way to play poker or on the ride or whatever. You can read it in a night, if you read fast, I guess. And it will get you up to speed to beat the small stakes games. This is what I recommend people when they don't play a lot of poker, they don't want to spend a lot of time studying poker. This is what I recommend for them. And it'll get you up to speed really quick. You're not going to be like the best player in the world after reading it, but it'll definitely make you better than most. Your camera is blurry. Well, then clean it. Did someone have aces when I had kings? Yes, someone did. Under the gun. Let's see. I saw something, but I think it got deleted. Oh, here it is. Have you ever set a false table image for yourself? No. And the reason is because you don't want to be making plays that sacrifice money to develop an image because you often don't know how long that will last. Especially in tournaments, it's a bad idea. It can be fine in like a cash game where you play against the same people all the time, because then like they will see image plays. That said, I just play normally, recognizing what my image may look like, right? Like say I make 3 hero calls and they're all wrong. I just clearly look like a calling station, right? Or if I make a bunch of big river bets, people are going to start looking me up on the river, right? And that just happens naturally. Sometimes you get a lot of spots where you need to bet the river, and your opponents don't know if you have the bluff or the nuts, right? And there'll be other times where you just end up playing kind of tight. If you've been just playing kind of tight, then your opponents are going to assume you're a little bit tight, especially if you're not like a well-known poker player, right? Nobody looks at me and thinks, oh, that's Jonathan Little, he's a super net. They might think I'm a little bit tight, but they're never going to think I'm overly nitty because I've had great results in poker, right? Once people know you, they are going to stop making big, broad assumptions, especially if you put your whole poker strategy out like I do, where I basically tell everyone what I'm doing, and it's not like I'm saying sit here and be a super net, right? So I can't really get away with that kind of thing. But at the same time, I'm not making like a horrible call on the river just to try to look loose or whatnot. Like if I have a spot where I have a bluff, a potential bluff, and it's like a borderline one, I mean, I guess you could say I made that play because if I do get called and I lose, it's okay because I now look looser than normal. But even then, like your opponent should be aware that it was a marginal bluff, and therefore it's not that bad, right? So the short answer to that is no. I do not make plays to develop an image. What's my longest cash game session? Probably not very long. Maybe like 15 hours, 20 hours, something like that. I don't really get the allure of playing long sessions because the game will be there tomorrow. Now, there are some instances in very high-stakes games where the games won't be there tomorrow, but that's not the case the vast majority of the time. Also, like some people, whenever they go play poker, they get to go play poker 3 days out of every month. And when they go to play, they want to play all the time. They are playing the maximum amount. And that's not how I operate. I don't need to play poker. Some people feel like they need to play poker. I don't feel like they need to play poker. I'm more so going to play because I want to play poker. And I don't want to play poker and be very, very tired. Because when I know I'm very, very tired, I'm also very, very unhappy. What is going on? I do see what all of you see, how this camera image is blurry today. It's not blurry on my end. I have the Facebook stream up over here, and I also have the stream that's going out over here, and it's like crystal clear. I don't know what's going on. What's your advice when playing with some regs and PLO at your local casino? Just play normally. Play great. All right, so it seems like the internet's not working very well today. It seems like the camera's not working very well today. Maybe we're just having an off day. So I'm going to go. I'm going to go get in the gym. I promised my mentor I would get in the gym every day this week and continue doing it. And that is my goal, and I'm going to do it. Whenever I set goals for myself, I tend to do them. So I'm going to go do that now. Hope you all have a great day. Thank you for being here. Sorry the internet's not working so well. Do your best to better the world. Don't spend your time tearing others down. And be happy. Find what makes you happy, progress, enjoy yourselves, and build up our community. Good luck, have fun, and I will see you all